Good morning, YouTube. Man, honestly, I don't know where to start. So I'm like throbbing a little bit. So I've been thinking a lot lately as to the direction of my life or where it's going to go long term. And for the longest, for those of you new here, I'm a full-time posing coach for bodybuilders. Like, I've worked through all divisions and I've been doing full-time for about a year, and I've been coaching for almost two, maybe a little bit more. Kind of lost track. But, and I've done a few shows, and then now we're just like in an off season. And something just happened to me recently where I can't really pinpoint the moment as to when it all started, but your boy has been falling in love with the profession of professional wrestling. It's kind of crazy because I feel like I looked down upon it here and there, but yeah, I was actually super interested when I was a kid. My favorite wrestlers were pretty much like everybody in the Attitude Era: the Stone Colds, The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, everybody. And then it bled into, that era of where Batista came in, Randy Orton, and everybody else. And then I took a long hiatus. As soon as Shawn Michaels retired, then I stopped watching. And my thoughts are going to be all over the place with this video because it's more based off of what I am currently thinking right now, just because it's all so new. But you know how when you say you're taking care of a baby and the baby's like at the edge of a corner of whether the bed or the couch or the table, and when they're about to fall off, your reaction is just to go save the baby. And I'm having that reaction in a way where I want to pursue professional wrestling and see where that goes, while still posing coaching, because doing full time, I do have a lot of control over my schedule and how many days I should work, and so I have the time to dive into the profession. Thankfully, like, life has brought me to this point, and ever since I've been thinking about wrestling, like it's been naturally just in my head, like I can't control it. I'm waking up thinking about it. I'm going to sleep thinking about it. There's been times where I'm going to bed and I can't sleep for hours just because for some reason in my mind I'm creating these stories and character building of this future me, and it's just been like, it's been overwhelming. And like, it's almost like personal, like, revelation from above, and it probably is. Most likely is. And I'm just like really kind of thrown off just because I've been really trying to figure out if it's my emotions, is something going on in my life to make me think this way, but it's been something that is just like this weird push or pull to like go and try it out. For so long, I've kind of been living in a way where I want to do things I'm doing things just to get by. So I've always grown up feeling like I was very gifted and skilled and everything, but I was also the youngest in my family, and so anybody higher than me, I would have more respect towards them than myself. And because of that, I lacked my ability to discover who I was, just because I cared so much about what other people thought. And as I grown older, I chased different professions, whether it be like something in art, something in I tried to do folk style wrestling in high school, and although I was a champion, I did well. Like, it definitely just didn't make sense to go into the national route because I just didn't want to bang my body up more for that sport. And as I moved on, I jumped into the restaurant industry, and then I went into the sales industry, like door-to-door sales, really trying to not chase my dreams or potential. Like, I've learned that I'm really good at copying things and understanding my body and movements. Like, I was good in wrestling, so I was really good at like being aware of my body. I'm also good at art, so it's like I'm really good with having a good eye and attention to detail. And I gotta admit, I have a good memory, and I love movies and storytelling. And And I'm trying to like voice all these thoughts out loud just because coming to think of it, it's just like, I think that's why I like wrestling so much, is because there's storytelling, it's an art form and awesome. Also, a lot of guys have crazy, great physiques, and I'm a bodybuilder, at least on paper I am. Search me on the NPC News Online, I'm there. And it just all kind of goes together. Like wrestling and bodybuilding still go hand in hand. So I'm not totally like pushing away from the bodybuilding at all, but I am having this passion to add professional wrestling to my just me as a person. And so what I did since I've been getting into it, I started watching the WWE. Also, honestly, I know where it restarted again. I work with someone who does work with the WWE, and they got me interested in like, because when I work with a lot of my guys, I like to look into what they're interested in and just kind of like really understand where they're coming from and like understand their character, right? And then so that's what got me back into the WWE and just professional wrestling. And it was kind of like dry at first, but the more I like looked into it, I looked with it in a different perspective. I saw it as truly like people are acting, but yet they are getting hurt, and they are being skillful and athletic, and also telling stories to get the crowd wild. It's like a live TV show, but like with a lot of athleticism. So it was like really like drew me to that sport. I'm like, dang, this is really cool. And so the next step, it led me to like, for some reason, look into on YouTube. I ran into Impulsive and this guy called Chris Van Vliet, I think that's his name, and they're both interviewers for professional wrestlers. And I've been learning from each and every one of them, from Edge to like even the women like Michelle McCool and so many different wrestlers. That Chelsea Green, I just listened to her today, and one thing I really admire about their work is like they are like in it, like they like know who they are as individuals. And I feel like I've always been more ahead of who I was compared to people in my circle, like my character. Like it's been so like, oh, that's Josh. But personally, internally inside, there are pieces of me I feel like I'm holding myself back just because I'm not around an environment to make me feel uncomfortable to get my true self out. And that is why I'm like really interested in wrestling for some reason, just because there's things like, I feel like it's a very out of pocket sport that I feel like would pull out my true self again. Because I was talking to my dad earlier, and I'm not sure if it was just because of life. I don't, maybe it was life, but I feel like I was pretty much myself in college and dating and meeting my wife. But when I got married, like months later after being married and having to be an adult and taking care of like my wife, on top of that, like working every day, and then just like feeling like we had to hold back on groceries just because like rent was changing, and still figuring out a career in my early marriage. And it was just like, I think I just built callous and just kind of like lost myself through it all. And which is why I love bodybuilding, because bodybuilding kind of refocused me to like be at zen and refine myself in that way. But now I'm just in a spot where like my extroverted tendency is like kind of like in there, and I want to bring it out. I want to bring out me at 100%, and I feel like right now I'm like at 85, maybe 80. And I feel like the circles I'm in, not even the circles, but I'm not around characters, like, or not around characters, but I'm not around like people that will push me to like really fine tune myself and find like, I'm rambling, but I hope this all makes sense to you guys and to me later if I ever review this. But I've just been thinking a lot about this, and don't know where it's gonna go. Like I will say, when I made the decision to like want to do this, it was definitely through the AEW. They came into town and to do a wrestling event, and I bought a ticket 24 hours before and showed up. Don't know anything about the wrestlers there other than Edge, because I guess Edge is still around, and Chris Jericho and Christian. And when I was there, it felt like home. I grew up hanging out with the punk rock guys, the metalheads, the rockers, and I always felt like we were like misfits and different compared to a lot of other people. And I miss that crowd. When I was around them, I was just kind of like, I felt like I was around creatives. Like, people were so into it, where I was just like, dang, this is like really cool. Like, I would like to be around this atmosphere like regularly. And I sat there thinking, it's like, do I see myself more as like a consumer of the sport, or more of someone that wants to be in it for the people? And I feel like I'm leaning more towards the people, because it's just like, I don't know, again, going back to the baby falling off the bed and you want to save it. It's just like, I want to naturally do so. Yeah, after going to AEW, kind of just made the decision in my mind that, yeah, I want to do it. And honestly, I've been so timid with the idea just because it scares me, guys. Like, wrestling, if you really look into it, it's like a beast. Like, being in front of people and trying not to mess up what you're trying to do to like bring entertainment, like that's ballsy to me. And I look back too, like I did drama for 2 years, and when I was in drama, like I made kids laugh, I brought energy, and like I sit here and I'm just like, dang, where is that Josh at? Where has he been? It's been a while. And I'm just creating all these things in my mind, like I'm not good enough, I'm not athletic enough, I'm not all this and that, and it's just like, those things are so not true, because yes, I'm 28 years old, but it's just like, I'm still capable. If anything, I'm mentally stronger to do something like this than I would have been forever ago, because there were so many other issues I had to get over. But I'm like living a happy life and everything's pretty good. Like, why not try it? So yeah, I think the first time I'm just gonna say it out loud is I want to do professional wrestling. I want to like put my Mata Ali, my name out there. I looked at my last name in bad light for so long just because of history, but like I want to like kind of see like our name just be out there for like something very good for this world. And it scares me, man. It scares me, very similar to another thing too I need to get over. I'm scared of heights. So you put me on a bridge, jump on into a lake and have fun with friends. I've done it before, but like, it's how I feel right now. When I made the decision that I want to do this, I feel like I'm about to jump from a high point, and then I'm going to jump in, and then at the end, it wasn't that bad after all. But like, the more I do it, then it's just more fun, and then I'm just chill, right? And so that's how I feel with this all. I even went to the store to look at wrestling shoes, and then I also looked at like, I've been thinking of like what I would wear. Like, I'm getting so ahead of myself, but one thing I'm really grateful for is I've been thinking about this so much that I guess someone noticed that I seemed pretty off, and they like kind of told me 3 times like, hey, are you okay? And then I told him what I've been thinking of, which is this profession. And he said, he's like, I think you should do it. And I've been praying here and there about it, been like pondering on it, and just I believe I got my answer there, because it was so like random. Man, he made good points too, where like, because I tell myself, shoot, I feel like I'm not a good spokesman, or I'm not confident to talk, or like, do I have character? And it's just like, and then he was kind of telling me, I was like, dude, look at your Instagram. You're very confident in talking. You have character and all this stuff. I think you're just in your head too much. And he's right. I totally am. I've always wanted to take safe routes, but yeah, this scares me, guys. And yeah, so before I started recording, I I did I sent a message to a girl that is local here. She's a professional wrestler to a federation local, and I told her, I was like, yeah, because I've been looking into like gyms, like where do I go and learn this? And it looks like there's two gyms, and I told her like, hey, there's like two gyms. Which one should I go? I'm kind of like, I feel so like out of my element and so unsure. Like I feel like a kid again. Like this feels very similar to when I started football for the first time my high school year, and almost how I felt joining wrestling in high school. Kind of. Oh, man. Anyways, wish me luck. I'm also over analyzing this too, just because I don't want this to be a phase, because I'm over phases. I'm a married man. I want to make sure that we are projecting our life like this, right? And I don't want us to do this. I feel like I've done that enough in our marriage. Not that I did that, but like I feel like I held myself back by doing the restaurant industry for too long, and for doing sales, like door-to-door sales, too long. Like, yeah. And on top of that, just to close things off, one thing I need to make note of that I saw is I was listening to John Cena talk, and then he talked about the amount of hours he puts into a whole year of Instagram. And I believe it's definitely under 300 hours or something. And when I heard that, and just like hearing all the wrestlers, just like it seems like they're not as consumed into social media as you would think, like Instagram and all that stuff, or even like the big like superstars, like famous people, I guess. And it almost seems like they're so connected with like silence, and I'm just like, my biggest weakness is consuming too much media. It's good in moderation, like you're 1-2 hours a day, like I think that's good, but like sometimes, guys, I could put in 6 to 8, and it's not healthy for me. And I've noticed that the longer I do that, then I'm like kind of pulling myself back from not progressing mentally and as a person. So it's just like I'm learning from these people, and I'm just like, I want to be more closer to becoming who I'm meant to become. And I need to so what I plan on doing is every day I need to do a 4-hour fast. Sometimes in the morning, or most of the time in the morning, I'm on my phone. I actually read scripture in the morning on my phone. But right after that, I get straight into like Instagram to DM everybody on Instagram, because being a opposing coach, like I work out of Instagram. And then sometimes I jump to I just care so much about the community in Instagram. And here in YouTube, I need to get better at it. I've just been like so all over the place. I will say the floodgates have opened for this bodybuilding season, and we are working with a good amount of people. So it's just like getting to everything is kind of hard right now, at least in like the DMs. And I need to like give myself some grace. I need to take a break and take like a 4-hour break right off the bat in the morning. No YouTube, no Instagram, no everything else for 4 hours. Then I could get into my working space and DM Instagram, get out, do my thing, and understand that I don't have to be obsessed with it. So that's my next step. Well, my next step is figuring out what this girl says, so I could see what gym I need to do, and then we'll see what happens next after that. So wish me luck, guys. Thank you so much for watching me rant about life. Kind of like this. It's like a journal. We've come a long way. I remember the first time I ever recorded myself, I just did not like seeing myself talking or hearing myself talk. But man, now I could do it in takes, and we're like good. And that's another thing too. I need to get better at talking on here, just because if I want to do professional wrestling, then I need to be really good at promos and being kind of like talking on the fly and being like still, I don't know, elegant, unique, whatever. But yeah, keep killing it, guys. I encourage everybody to do your best to find yourself and to do whatever you need to do to discover that. And I believe all of us, we all know what to do. We just need to take that step to go there. And my next step is to get wrestling shoes and sign up as soon as possible. I am going to go to an underground wrestling event most likely next week, so that will be the underground federation I would want to be part of, depending how this all goes. But thank you so much for watching, and like, comment, what do you guys think about this? Do you think I'm crazy? Should I just stick to posing coach the rest of my life, or should I do posing coaching and do this venture of professional wrestling too? You tell me what you think. Love you guys. Bye.